We have a fascinating show today.
Fascinating.
Fascinating. But I really am excited. She's an Olympian.
Mm-hmm.
She was on Dancing with the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
She's made the talk show circuit. She's a motivational speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And did I forget to mention, she's blind and has multiple sclerosis.
Yes, she is. Isn't that crazy?
I know it. All that stuff. And not only does she survive it, but she motivates other people. We've all had bad days and make excuses. For me, Monday through Friday. But we make excuses on why we can't do something. And she doesn't make any excuses. And then she motivates just average people like us to actually get off our rears and do better.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just kind of thinking about the husband. What does he do? She does it all already.
What do you do? Yeah. What does Rob do? He does nothing. Oh, yeah. He skis in front of her and tells her where to go left or right.
The weight here.
That's right. But if he falls, she's going to fall because she's skiing right behind him. She better be nice to him, though, because if she's not, he'd be like, go left. Oh, yeah, tree. He can do that.
Oh, yeah. You know what a horrible husband that would be.
Did you mention the trust factor? Would you trust me going
we
downhill?
Are already kicking him while he's down.
I know it. And he does everything. She speaks the world of him, too.
Yeah.
I mean, she just loves this guy so much. He must be, for somebody that nice to really speak that nice to Rob, this guy must be amazing. So Danelle Umstead coming up right after this on My Big Break Almost.
Danelle Umstead.
I have a loud voice.
Lindy laughs because so do I.
Very loud voice.
Yes. Well, hey, if your voice carries, that's perfect.
It's from all that public speaking you do.
Yes, exactly. I think so. And from yelling at my husband.
That's true. But see, I would
when I'm skiing behind him, I'm screaming at him.
You're right. You're doing it all wrong.
That's right. When I get down this hill, you're going to get it.
Exactly.
We are so excited to have you on. You are our first Olympian.
Me.
We are so excited to have you on.
Yay! Oh, thank you. I'm excited too. I'm very excited, and you should have more athletes, Olympians and Paralympians.
We're based out of Oklahoma, so we have no mountains. If you stand on a rock, you can see from one side of the state to the other.
We're great for running.
Yes.
Oh, right. I grew up in Plano, Texas, so I used to go to Oklahoma all the time.
Well,
okay. Yeah,
first of all, that's neat, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know, right? Exactly. I'm sorry.
Sorry you had to come up to Oklahoma, but we were glad to have you. 3 Olympics and the sports that you're doing them in. This is from a newbie who doesn't know a lot about the difference other than watching them as a fan.
No, and then on top of that, how in the world are you able to just, trust gravity?
Yeah.
I'll just be, even if you had, good eyesight, it's still, what drives you to just go sloping down a hill the way you do?
Yeah, how do you do that?
A mountain, I should say, not even a hill.
Right. So it's funny. I didn't start skiing until I was 29 years old. And the first time I went skiing, I actually was in a really low place in my life, and I had lost all usable vision. And my father had called me and said he wanted me to come visit northern New Mexico. I was living in Plano at the time. And he said, I want you to come to northern New Mexico to visit, and I want to take you skiing. And a girl growing up in Texas, I was like, wait, I'm blind, I can't see at all, and I don't know how to ski. And he explained to me that there was a program in northern New Mexico that he could teach me to ski and be my eyes and guide me down the mountain. And, at that point in my life, I had resigned from a career because of lack of vision. I had lost my mom to a 2-year battle of cancer, and I was pretty much feeling like people with no vision can do nothing, like they don't have a future. Once I clicked into those skis and started skiing behind my dad, calling out the turns and telling me where to go, my life was transformed. It was in that moment, my life was completely transformed. And then I had another obstacle to face is, everybody said, well, you're 29 years old. And I told people that I wanted to become a Paralympian. I wanted to ski at the Paralympic Games. And they were like, well, you can't do that. You're too old. You just learned how to ski. There's no way, most people have retired by the age I am, at the time. And I was like, well, you can't tell me no. I had taken the lack of feeling like I couldn't do anything, that everything seemed impossible, and turned it into anything's possible. And so I just started pushing myself, and I said I was going to prove to myself and everyone else that we can all do the impossible every day. And so I became passionate about becoming a ski racer and representing my country at the Paralympic Games, and I proved everybody wrong.
Wow.
It's completely unfair that you do this, because I am about 8 months older than you. And for me to even contemplate doing what you do, I couldn't even think about it. So you make me look really bad, because that age excuse is gone with you. I just cannot believe that you're doing this.
Well, and I thought that maybe.
Yeah, and I'm still doing it.
Yeah, and how old? I mean, is there an age limit to, I guess, being in the Olympics and doing this?
No, there's not an age limit, but your prime is usually when you're younger, right? And
well,
so,
I mean, most likely not to.
I'm the oldest in my category. That is definitely true. It's not easy. I'm not winning all the time anymore. In the beginning, I was winning quite a bit, and then younger, faster kids come along, and so I still hold my own. And I keep saying to myself, well, as long as I'm still in contention, then I might keep on going. So I took last year off, unfortunately, in 2010 after the first Paralympic Games. Rob and my guide is my husband, Rob, who guides me down the mountain. And he and I medaled at our first Paralympic Games, winning 2 bronze medals. And then 7 months later, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It does. I mean, I can't make this stuff up.
No. I mean, even Hallmark movies can't write something this dramatic to have to overcome.
I know, it's crazy.
And how has that been for you with having to deal with MS?
Well, the reason why I mentioned that is I ended up taking last season off because my MS was so bad. I wasn't able to ski. It took away the one thing I loved the most. And, I had been living with MS, and, when I first was diagnosed, I lost all feeling in my right side from my rib cage to my toes, and I had to learn how to walk again, and I learned how to hop again, and learned how to ski again, and I built my way back up. And then my husband and I represented our country in 2 more Paralympic Games, and after the 2018 Paralympic Games, my MS flared up and kept me from skiing for almost a year.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Now, do you have goals of trying to be in the 2022 Olympics?
I never put anything on the back burner.
There's like a late sign-in sheet.
Wait a minute, we're not here.
But, I don't know what to expect. When it was just my vision I was dealing with, I knew what to expect. But with multiple sclerosis, every day is different, and I can't make promises like I used to be able to make, but I'm going to promise that I'm going to continue trying. And who knows, maybe I'll be the first 70-year-old woman out there skiing in the Paralympic Games. I don't know, but I never want to stop trying.
It's a good goal.
Can you have a walker on skis maybe in your 70s?
I'm sure probably they make some exceptions.
That's right. And I cannot
exactly.
And I can't believe that you just said, well, when it was just my eyesight, I could handle that. But you throw this. I'm like, you said to one person, put a patch over one eye, and they're like, I'm out.
I would have been that person too. I was that person once. But, it's funny how we all adapt when things are thrown at you, if you want to use those words. Or, we just all tend to adapt to what we can handle. And obviously, I'm being challenged a lot on what I can handle. And I never thought I would be somebody. I grew up in Texas. I didn't know the mountains, just like you two. Flat land, love shopping. I was always an athlete at heart. It wasn't like I just did nothing and turned around. I always worked out in the gym, and I was always very active, and I was always trying to get involved in things. But because of my lack of sight, and when I was growing up, disability was not as socially acceptable as it is today. With the movement for the Paralympics and people with disabilities it's incredible. And I'm lucky to I'm sponsored by major companies. Like Toyota is one of my top sponsors, and Ericsson Corporation, and all these big companies that are sponsoring athletes. And they are not doing it because of they're the fastest in the world. They're doing it because of their story and because they believe in their goals. And people like that make you want to work harder and be the best you can be.
Well, yeah, I mean, that does make sense. That's great, though. I can't believe, I mean, that says a lot about the company as well. These companies that do want to sponsor
Absolutely.
Little OU from Plano, Texas. It kind of,
Yeah.
it makes the rest of us, feel like anything could be achievable too. Like, we just think Oklahoma.
That's right.
Yeah.
We get to use so many things as excuses. We're in Oklahoma, so we can't do that.
I was like, most people can't even point that out on, a map.
That's right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Slalom, giant slalom, downhill combined. And the Super G is the one I want to ask you first about. How fast do you go when you're just going straight downhill, like Lindy said, letting gravity do the rest?
Right. So the fastest one is the downhill, actually. It's faster than the Super G. Yeah, it's faster than the Super G. Super G is a speed race too, but it has a little bit more turn to it. And the downhill is, there's turn shape and there's course, there's gates in the course that tell you where to go in a race, but it's more straight. So when you're going flat and in a tuck, we have been clocked at 70 miles per hour.
Oh my gosh. Goodness.
Yeah. When my husband drives the car that fast, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Slow down.
Do that on your skis.
Gosh, 70 miles per hour.
Is your husband cringing?
Yeah.
The funny thing, not funny, haha, but he skis in front of me and we're not connected in any way. And we communicate only through Bluetooth headsets in our helmets. So it's a Bluetooth microphone and we have speakers in our helmets. So it's all by voice and communication. So it's a huge trust factor. But he has to turn around and make sure we're close enough too while he's going up to those speeds, and I don't see how he does it. Everybody's always like, you're so incredible. I'm like, well, you should be my husband. He's incredible.
So did he ski before you even thought about doing the Olympics? Or, how did that come about? Because it's not like both of you could be just like athletes and then both y'all just have a gift of skiing, that happened in your 20s.
He's my coach, my life partner, my everything. When we said I do, he agreed to guide me. But he ski raced in high school into college and beyond. So ski racing has been a major part of his life. So when I met him and was like, I actually had other guides prior to him, and then when I got good enough, he started guiding me. That's what we always did.
That's great. That is amazing trust.
That is huge trust.
Yeah.
I wonder how many wives would do that.
Yeah, Lindy wouldn't even trust me to put the dishes up right, probably, and with good reason.
Well, it's funny. Like we get on a tandem bike and ride a bike together, and we're connected in that way. And you would think I would still trust him, and I'm like, wait a minute, you're pedaling my pedals, steering my steering wheel, like I'm not in control at all. And I started freaking out a little. I tried to tell him what to do.
Oh, that is great. Yeah, you're fine, going downhill 70 miles per hour, but if you're going 5 miles per hour on a bike since you can't steer, there's a problem.
Yeah. Control freak.
Well, I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Find out who the patient one is.
That's true. What's it like when you're going downhill and you do fall or have a crash? Because you just don't do it.
No, I do. I have crashes.
That's
that
right.
are pretty scary. The funny thing is I'm super quiet. Like when I crash, I have to relax because I can't see where I'm going and what I'm doing. So I'm trying to relax and just breathe. And the times I've crashed, I hear Rob, doing a couple of turns, and he usually looks back every couple of turns, and I'll hear him still going, and I want to tell him I'm down, but I'm trying to breathe and not panic. So it's like this crazy thing of waiting to see what's about to happen or feel what's about to happen, because I'm sliding. Sometimes I lose my skis, I lose my poles, or I hit a gate, or I go into the netting, or it's really, really scary. You just don't know what's coming up or what's about to happen. So I get very quiet and I just try to breathe and stay calm. That's my major focus. But my husband always says, "You're so quiet. I didn't even know you fell."
A graceful faller.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh
the
my
panic's going on. The panic's real, I promise.
Oh, I'm sure, just all internal.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yes.
Are you burying
Exactly.
on some of those falls? Because that's what I would think would be most panicking, is just kind of feeling like you're being suffocated.
A big snowdrift.
Yes, I mean, it's super scary. And one that stands out the most, it was in 2013. It was the test events for the 2014 Paralympic Games in Sochi. And it was the year prior. And we had, like, for the first time, big jumps in our course. And if you watch the 2014 Olympic or Paralympic Games, the jumps were big. We were on the men's course. And I had never done a jump before. And I couldn't visually see how people did it. So I was constantly asking everybody what it felt like to jump and what happened to their skis and all of this other stuff. So the first time I jumped, it was actually really exciting and really fun. And we landed nice. I mean, it wasn't graceful, but I didn't crash. And then got onto the flats, and the flats were really, really sticky because of the snow. And that's one of the biggest conflicts about the 2014 games, is the snow was just not really great. The snow had grabbed my ski and shot my ski up into the air, and I went flying into like 3 things of netting. We call it the red room. And I went flying into the red room, and I kept my eyes closed the whole time of falling, and I heard Rob going down, and this is in a downhill race. So I was going at, I crashed at big speeds. And I remember as soon as I stopped, all I kept hearing is the team around me saying, get an ambulance, get an ambulance. And I thought, oh my gosh, what is going on? Like, am I disfigured? What could be happening? And they're like, ambulance, ambulance. And I started to panic, and I heard Rob hiking up, and I had always told Rob, no matter what in a downhill race, make me get up and ski out of there, because I do not want to be one of those people that are taken up on the helicopter and you're dangling from the helicopter.
Yeah.
So no matter what, like, I could be bleeding to death, get me up, because I do not want to be hanging from a helicopter. And so I keep hearing ambulance, and I'm like, I must be really hurt, because it was a really, really bad crash. I mean, I hear my husband hiking up in my headset, and then he walks up and he's like, oh no, she's okay. So I got up, and I mean, I was quite really banged up, but not bad enough to ski down. I mean, the ski down was pretty ugly, but it was way better than being dangled from a helicopter.
So they can't see you because when you say nets, and they're there for your safety and catching you?
Yes, correct.
Okay. They're not just like to barricade off a certain area and you just got getting tangled by a net.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was
Right. They're really there to protect you and keep you from, like, if there's a tree in the way, so they'll put netting up before the tree so that if you did go off course, you wouldn't go right into a tree. So it is a safety factor.
Okay, well, yeah, I didn't even think of that either. I'm like, okay, well, of course, if you just wanted to see it for entertainment value, just take the nets away.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about it. It's a good thing that they think about stuff like that, because I would have thought, well,
right?
hit the tree,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, easier said than done at 70 miles per hour.
I would think even with like full-time vision. I mean, just this full-on vision.
Oh yeah, you can't control what,
No.
if something's going to happen, it's going to happen. What goes through your mind whenever you're at the top of the hill, no matter what the race is, and you're about ready to go down? What goes through an athlete's mind?
For me, what goes through my mind is definitely to trust in my training. I've trained so much to get to the point of a ski race that I have to be ready when I stand in that starting gate. And, sometimes panic does creep up, fear creeps in. I mean, that's normal. That's an athlete's mind, but you have to let that go and trust in your training. And for me, I have to trust in my team, which is my guide and my husband, who's my eyes that skis in front of me. So I have to just remember that I've been training for this. I work hard for this, and I have to trust my training and just take a deep breath and let it go.
That's great, because I would just think that, like a certain chant or something, I don't know, some kind of thing that, even like football players too, they have like their wear the socks. And,
yeah.
I didn't know if there was like a certain outfit or a certain undergarment that you wear all the time, especially after you won. Like
You
I'm
know we're getting
crazy.
undergarments on the show, didn't you? I didn't know she was going there either.
That's same as knocking on wood.
Yeah.
You know, everyone kind of has their thing.
Sorry, Danielle, I can't control her.
This is where
I love it. On race day, well, actually every day, I do have like a routine I go through. When I'm in the starting gate, that's where I am at. You know, I've gone through my routine for the day, and Rob and I have a routine when we're skiing. And this is going to sound ridiculous, and I've never told anybody this, but I always have to wear a purple. So 90% of the time it's purple undies.
Hey, hard-hitting journalism. You did it.
That's awesome. Purple's a great color.
So purple's my color. And so also I listen to songs that I listen to the same song all the time, and it's Rise Up by Andre Day. Have you heard that song?
Love that song.
I try and belt that lady song, and I probably don't do it any justice, but yes.
Yes,
that's an awesome
that
song.
is my song. That's my power song. And that was actually my first song that I danced to in Dancing with the Stars. So it was pretty amazing for me to be able to dance to that song too, because that is my absolute power song. I wake up every day and listen to that song, and it gets me out of bed. It reminds me what I'm capable of, and it just helps me not give up. It's like my meditation.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. And that wasn't even planned on Dancing with the Stars as far as the song? They picked it for you?
No, I was on Dancing with the Stars.
I know. Did you get to pick the song, or did they pick it for you and it just happened to be your favorite song?
I thought you said, did you get a ticket?
Oh.
Like a Willy Wonka ticket.
Yeah, that's right. Did you get a golden ticket? Did you sneak in the back door? How did you get on?
Well, I asked, and they couldn't. I asked for that to be my first dance, but they couldn't promise it until they got the rights. So I did ask for it, and we were lucky to be able to dance to it. It was beautiful.
Oh, that's really cool.
Great. So we were going to get into Dancing with the Stars, and this was a perfect segue. So thank you for bringing it up that way. You helped us out a lot.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. So I watched Dancing with the Stars. I have zero rhythm. When I say zero, that's probably an overstatement for me. But I've seen
I'm with you. I have no rhythm too.
I've seen so many athletes even on there talk about, oh my gosh, I am so sore, I'm so bruised. This is so much more difficult than you ever know. Was it really that hard to do?
I don't think the physical aspect was as hard as the mental for me. For me, mentally, it was really draining. Artem was my partner, and he and I trained, because I was the first blind contestant on the show, and I didn't know how to dance, and he didn't know how to teach a blind girl how to dance, and we really had to figure it out on our own. And, it was a teamwork process. It seems like my life is all about teamwork. We are all better together, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it was really mentally straining because we had to talk a lot. I had to touch a lot. There was a lot going on.
Well, I've seen him. So not a bad looking guy.
Yeah,
he's a nice guy, and I heard he's nice looking, but my husband reminded me he's not as good looking as him. So
good for Rob. Yeah, good for Rob.
Exactly.
That's a husband.
Yeah, just trust me, honey. I'm the best looking guy on the planet. Yeah. Trust me, we're good.
He tells me that every day.
Good for him. So what was it like whenever you're back there practicing for dances, and then all of a sudden it's almost like the gates open, the curtains open, and you're in front of an audience and millions of people now having to dance?
I used the same motto as I used in skiing. I just had to trust in what we did, and hope that it worked out. At that moment, you can only do what you can do in that very moment. So I remember standing on stage and taking this really great deep breath before Artem met up with me, and thinking to myself, this is my moment. And I have never been that vulnerable in my entire life. When I ski race, I ski with a helmet on, goggles on, I'm in a speed suit. You really can't see who I really am. Mm-hmm. And I felt like on Dancing with the Stars, I was super vulnerable and allowed people to see a side of me that nobody's ever seen before. So it was transforming for me. It was beautiful. It was life-changing, and it was hard, and I loved every minute of it.
Was your husband helping? I mean, as far as you guys trying to figure out how it was going to go between you and your dance partner? Did your husband kind of in a way like help out?
I didn't want my husband to be a part of, like, I wanted to show him something beautiful.
Oh.
And I wanted him to see it for the first time like everybody else, so he wasn't allowed to come in and see. And then yes, we started asking for his advice on how to like work his, like, what would you do, or and we started asking his advice for sure to help us ways,
because he's so good at it,
Yeah.
I mean,
he's not
It's just-
perfect. Stop it.
So
I'm good at it. No, I'm just kidding.
He'll be like, well, you know what? We don't need Artem.
yeah, so
Oh no, we tried to dance together. It's not pretty.
Okay, 2 left feet. I guess.
Not
Yeah.
pretty.
week 1 you did it without Rob and you survived, and week 2 is when you got eliminated with Rob's help. So basically, it's Rob's fault, is what I'm taking.
4 dances in, and Rob helps us out. We get eliminated. But did you guys hear how we got eliminated? It's awful.
No, I haven't heard. I got to hear this controversy.
Oh.
It's awful. I know, right? You can't start out like that.
So-
Tell us.
So first things first is they made us dance 4 dances in the first 2 weeks, which is like never heard of in the history of Dancing with the Stars. I had to learn 2 dances in the first week, which they have never done to anybody, and 2 dances in the second week. So we had 4 dances in 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
We worked hard. We did, I was so proud of everything we did together. We really did a great job. And then come to the night of the elimination, the 4th dance in, the night of the elimination, we got eliminated because there's a glitch we got eliminated and they did not count the phone votes because there was a glitch in the system. So the only votes that counted were online votes.
What?
Now tell me that's not fair.
Yeah.
Now, one athlete, like, she puts everything out there, an athlete that, oh, I'm sorry, we had a mistake and you're going out not the way the rules are. Like it was it was the hardest thing I've ever dealt with because I felt like I had no closure. If we went out and all the votes counted, then I would have been like, okay, I went out.
Right.
All the votes counted. But I
There's
think they
nothing
need to bring
you
it
could have
back.
done. Especially that's why they have rules.
Yeah.
Right. So the whole phone vote didn't count. I got millions of messages from elderly and people with disabilities and all kinds of, people saying, I'm sorry, I only voted by phone. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it was really difficult for me to go out like that. It's one thing, like I said,
That is frustrating.
if I went out and all the votes counted, but going out when not all the votes counted, and I'll never know. Like, oh, well, if those counted, would we have made it or not? I'll never know.
Exactly.
So that was.
What if my big break almost? That's really frustrating.
It's really frustrating, but I would do it again because it was transforming.
Well, they should. I know.
They should bring you back
they
again.
Should.
That's
they
not,
really should because that isn't fair.
I think
honestly,
so. And I still don't know how to dance, so it won't be like I have a heads up on anybody.
Well, maybe we need to try to get some kind of write-in petition to bring you back and do it the right way.
I like it.
I'm just shocked that they
burn
would
it. You get that going.
You start it. We will promote it. We will be behind you.
Okay. Okay, I love it.
Yeah, bring back Danielle. Bring back Danielle.
I love it. But the good thing that came from that was, for the past 10, 12 years, I've been writing stories of what's been going on in my life. And I've been wanting to write a book, but I didn't want to allow people to see all of me. And I wasn't willing to be that vulnerable. And being on Dancing with the Stars has allowed me to say, I am who I am, and I am in the process of writing a book, being willing to have all my stories out there for people to hopefully get inspired and help people in that aspect so that we can all overcome challenges and live our impossible. So I'm working on a memoir. I don't think I would have done that if I wasn't on Dancing with the Stars. I really don't.
That's positive. And you just led into our third segment perfectly, our final segment, what you're doing today. And it's like she knows our outline, so this is perfect. So you just lead the way.
Well, the only other thing that I find shocking is that she can write a memoir on her life, and I feel like mine would be a child's book because I don't have a memory even. I have friends that tell me, like, oh, you remember that time? No, I have no clue why I don't, but I don't. But I think that's awesome that you actually can fill up a big book of
that is true.
your life, and that it is inspiring. So Way to go.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, it's gonna be awesome. I'm excited about it, and I am speaking today, and I speak all over. I speak quite a bit, sharing my story and inspiring others, and telling people that anything's possible. See beyond their borders and not have limitations, accept challenges and face them with adversity. So I love speaking all over and sharing my story that we are better together and living our impossible every day. So I think it's amazing the opportunity I have to get out there and speak to all these major corporations and even the small ones, something that means a lot to me. Ever since I was a little girl, I said I wanted to change the world and make it a better place. And I feel like I'm doing that through my story and sharing my story with others. And I'm still skiing. We'll see what happens with that. You never know. It might be 2022.
Oh, wow.
We will see.
That is
You never know.
exciting.
I'm going to be an old lady.
Did
Oxygen and everything at the bottom of the hill. Who knows?
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, I mean, you could still be skiing probably for another,
She could actually
40
start
years.
the senior citizen.
That's right.
I mean, you've got a ways to go, but still.
Yeah.
I don't know. They keep getting younger and faster and fearless. And, if I'm out there and I'm still mentoring and like helping the movement of the Paralympics and helping the movement of today's disabled sports and inspiring others to do it, then heck yeah, I'll keep doing it. Who knows at what level I'll be at, but I want to be a part of it forever because it was like changing and transforming for me. So.
Well, have you ever thought about becoming a coach?
I'm a mentor. I'm a mentor, and I go out and ski with the up and comers, and I love that part. Yes, and so I'm a part of it, but I still want to be in it.
Right now, it is what it is.
Yeah. So by you traveling around and speaking at so many places and being on different talk shows that I've seen clips for, and normal people like us, you're a celebrity, but I'm assuming to celebrities now, you are a celebrity to them.
I don't think of that. I had never thought of it. To me, I think we're all equal, whatever we do in life. And I think we all have amazing stories, and I think everybody is a celebrity in their own way. I don't think anybody's better than one another. And I think we are better together. All of us as humans are all better together.
Wow.
I think that's great. Is that going to be like the title of your memoir? I've heard it a couple of times and I like it.
Together.
I didn't know if you already have a title of your book.
Secretly telling us.
Yeah.
I don't have a title of my book yet. That would be a secret.
So when do you know when your book's going to come out?
So we just finished the proposal, and I have a literary agent, so the next steps are about to happen.
Wow.
How exciting.
I know. I was like, man, a memoir, it might be 10, 20 years.
Yeah. I know.
That's how long it would take.
No, it'll be pretty quickly. It's all outlined, and
wow, you've been busy.
It's really awesome. I'm pretty excited about it, and I can't wait to start sharing that. Maybe I'll come back and talk to you guys once it's
Yes, we would love that. We would love that. And then that way we can talk about 2022 Olympics, which we're going to make sure we get you in and get you back from stars. So we've got big plans.
I love you. You're my favorite fan.
Right?
That's right.
You know what's really crazy about this next coming year? Mm-hmm. So it's all about vision, 2020 vision. So we can all have a vision.
Wow, that gave me goosebumps.
That is it gave me goosebumps, believe it or not. Right then, that's crazy. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's amazing how people, just like how other people think and how they relate to things.
Yes.
And I'm just like, I would never even think that.
That's incredible.
Right?
Well, and I know you have to go speak today, so you're busy, but to take time out and speak with us and motivate us, this has really, really been special.
Oh, thank you. And thanks for inviting me. I'm pretty excited to be on your show and be a part of it.
We look forward to getting to have you when your book comes out. We will have Danelle 2.0 the next time we have you.
Okay, sounds great.
Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Danielle.
Okay, thanks, guys.
I'm not going to say wow because you teased me for saying wow too much.
Wow. Yes, I know.
Incredible.
Yes.
Amazing. Stupendous.
She was just really fascinating. Let's just say that.
Okay, we will go with fascinating.
Yeah.
And so uplifting.
Very good. Yes, she is.
Wow.
And her words were just, I mean, she just knew exactly what to say and how to speak. I mean, public speaking is definitely in her blood for sure.
You can definitely tell.
Not in ours.
No, that's why we're talking into
not
a little
mine,
camera.
at least. Not mine.
But it's amazing because I was throwing out, being me, I throw out just stupid jokes here and there. And she was so sweet about it, but she would instantly turn that around to a positive. Like, no, but we can all do this together. And I'm like, darn it, you're so nice. I'm trying to get you and be honoring and fun. And she's so sweet and nice. I just picture like going over.
You make it sound like it's such a bad thing.
I know it. But I love talking to her though. I picture going over there, her and her husband just opening the door like, oh, we made some cookies and we knew what your favorite cookies were. Here you go. And just so sweet and welcoming. Yeah. And then you just sit there and they just tell you about how wonderful you are for like an hour and uplift you. That's what
Is that what you're needing?
That's what I'm needing, yes. But that's
Is that what you're begging for?
Yeah, that's right. Or at least the cookies. Yeah. I'll take the cookies. She just talked about, these challenges she faced, but not once was it a woe is me.
No, she didn't elaborate on how bad, her situations or what she went through. But, she's writing a book. So then she might elaborate a little bit more on more of the detail of her struggle.
Yeah.
Because, you think about it and it's just kind of like a flash in your life, that you had and you remember it being bad. But, having to go into detail about all of that and relive it all.
Oh, gosh, that's true. Probably.
But still be so humble after all of her accomplishments, too. I mean, that to me was just, wow.
2 bronze medals. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Sponsorship by huge corporations, travels the country, maybe the world, speaking, been on Dancing with the Stars, been on the talk show circuit. I mean.
And she's your age.
Great.
What a kick in the butt for that, huh?
I was feeling pretty good about what I was talking about until then.
Well, eventually we'll get there,
So if we were skiing down a hill and I was in front of you telling you to go left or right, you were blindfolded.
I would probably be stubborn to not trust you because I can't even have you pick out my shoes. I've tried.
But with good reason. I mean, you say get the black ones and there's like 18 pair of black shoes.
Don't be talking about my shoes.
We hit a sore spot with so many people out there. We're going to get more comments from the shoes. That's right. I'm sorry, Danielle. This really was about you. It was supposed to be.
About you, yes. But, her and her husband have a connection, and it's great. And the fact that she can trust him wholeheartedly with her life, literally. I mean, again, not very many women I know that would put that much trust in their husbands.
That's true.
In dealing with their life, it's I'll leave at the drop of a dime. I'm not a very trustworthy wife, I think. If there's an earthquake, I'll be the first one out the door.
Okay, can I share that story? The story's being shared. I can't wait. This is finally coming out.
And most likely people will take this as, you have earthquakes in Oklahoma?
I know it. But we had an earthquake in Oklahoma and didn't know at the time that earthquakes were going to be starting. But this one was a pretty good one.
Well, who does?
Yeah. Well, we didn't get them in Oklahoma, so we didn't really know. And we're in the kitchen. My mother-in-law, your mom, and our daughter's there. And this earthquake hits. I run towards our daughter, being the hero, the humble hero, to pick her up, take her to safety. And we look up, and Lindy is at the front door already holding it. And she looks back and goes, oh.
By then, the earthquake was over, so then I wasn't panicked as much. But, I mean, gosh, it's a fight or flight. And I found out I'm not necessarily in that scenario.
You're a flight.
Yes, I'm out the door. I just assume everyone else has legs. So
it was every
including our dog.
Yeah. It was every man, woman, and child for themselves. Lindy was out the door. I'm so glad America got a chance to hear this story. I've been holding
I'm
that
so
one
sorry, Danielle. I'm stealing the light, and I shouldn't because it's his fault.
Yeah, it's my fault. But, Danielle would say, you know what? If we're better when we're together. So if you don't run out the door by yourself, we're better together.
You're just saying it so selfish.
Listen to the words of Danielle. She inspires us all.
She does. I know. I'm going to have to call her, and she's going to have to tell me the ways.
Yeah, we'll put her on speed dial.
Yeah, you're just going to say, here, Lindy needs to talk to you.
Yeah, set her straight, Danielle. That's okay, because I'm sure Rob would set me straight with something as well. Paul, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I know. I can tell stories, but I'm not. Because it's about Danielle.
That's right. It's about Danielle, not the stories. Not how bad I am. We'll save those for other episodes. There'll be plenty.
But yeah, she's definitely again, just wholeheartedly a great person.
She is,
and
really.
She didn't once bash anyone.
No, I know it, and she could. Now, when she hung up the phone, I bet she probably was talking to Rob. You won't believe the people I had to deal with. They were the worst.
Yeah, I know.
I wouldn't blame her, but that'd be funny.
No, she's not that way. We don't think that.
No. She's actually really, really nice. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did, though.
Mm-hmm.
This was really, to steal your word, fascinating.
I mean, you can interact with her and feel what she feels, and you can just relate. I guess relatable.
Mm-hmm.
She's very relatable. I mean, and not in certain things, but again, she just she has a good give and take on.
She brings it back to a nice conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've ever had that telephone call with somebody that for whatever reason you feel better having talked to them when you hang up, that's what it was like talking to her.
Yeah.
So I hope we get to talk to her again. Then we'll feel better about ourselves again.
Right.
But until then, we will have an all-new guest next week. It's going to be a surprise to us and to everybody else. But this person's probably going to make us feel good about ourselves as well.
Hopefully.
If not,
I like feeling like this after an interview.
This is a good feeling. But I can't wait for next week. I hope you guys join us. My big break almost. We'll see you then.